Hex Bar Overcoming Isometric. Quick summary on the overcoming versus yielding. Remember that on a yielding isometric, I have a set weight and I have gravity acting upon me. On an overcoming isometric, I'm moving into an immovable object. The overcoming is a little bit more dependent on motivational levels, so keep that in mind as you're coaching your athletes and your clients. I have a squat rack set up here that's anchored to the floor, and I have some J clamps on that squat rack. Most of the time, if we're doing a hex bar overcoming isometric, we want the hex bar being at roughly mid-thigh. That's going to mimic a little bit more of our jumping angles. So I think most people would be more comfortable with actual safety pins set up because they extend out a little bit further, so it's not going to slip off when they do it. When I'm training my athletes, I'll turn them around and face them toward the wall. We'll talk about a couple different positions here in just a second. So when I grab the bar, so I have that just a little bit too high. Again, so bar set up, I want mid-thigh. What I'm trying to do is drive my feet into the ground, and I'm pulling this toward the ceiling as hard as I can. About pushing with my feet and pulling with my arms and trying to go in opposite directions. Cue your athletes to breathe and brace to where we're engaging our lats, breathing out into our abs to create stability in our midsection so we're not overarching our back. Now with this one, the reason I like to turn athletes around is it puts the bar in the corner of the J clamp and the actual squat rack here. So if I have a 90-degree angle, that bar is put up at a 90-degree angle. So we can do a rep that's more vertical focused with an overcoming isometric to where I'm pushing through like a equal foot pressure, and then I can have them kind of lean into the squat rack here where their weight's gonna get shifted forward and have them do an overcoming isometric pushing into that, and that's gonna be a little bit more horizontal in nature. So you can get creative with the angle that you want. Look at your programming, I'll indicate if it's a vertical or horizontal in nature. Keep in mind that those are pretty minor details. There's not a whole lot of change that's gonna happen, but we can play with it. A lot of times the athletes have fun kind of changing those different joint angles, or the torso angles I should say, in the position. Sometimes we'll do them in a low position, mid position, and high position. 9 out of 10 times it's gonna be right there at mid-thigh. So look to see, is it gonna be foot flat and a vertical oriented at mid-thigh? Is it gonna be low or high with the foot flat? Or we're gonna go with a forward foot pressure, horizontal in nature, with that mid-thigh, low or high. So those are the touch points that you need to look for in your program.